Okay, what I'm going to talk through now is how to install a peep sight into your Atunga compound bow. Now this is the way you do it on the Atunga Stalker, Extreme, Commando and Elite. This will not work on your Atunga Black Ops bow, because the Black Ops bow you can't adjust the draw weight. And we actually have adjusted the draw weight now to its minimum setting, and the way I've done that is we've tightened it to its very tightest setting, and then we've loosened these bolts up 4 full rotations each. And that's the same for the Stalker, Extreme, Commando and Elite. And now that it's on its weakest setting, we can use the bow press. This is the Atunga bow press. We can use the bow press to take pressure off the string, because we need to actually install the peep sight onto the string. Now you'll notice that I'm putting the ends with lugs into the area that we're working, and I'm putting the other area, the area of the bow press that has no lugs, onto the side of the bow that we're not working with. And I'll show you why. Because this, once we tighten it, is going to use up that cable, and that's going to be in the way. We want that to be right out of the way of where we're working. Now with the bow press, I've started the wrong way. We want to actually put this end in first, like so, and make sure it's got a good position there. We want to slide this down as much as we can, so maybe there, and we want to have all the screw thread on that side of the bow press, so they've got an area to work in. Over the other end, this is the tricky end. We have to adjust the bow press. See, there's a hole in there to be on the correct lug for this bow. What I'm going to do, sorry that's hard for you to see there. And I'll see if I can pull it any tighter. If I can pull it tighter, I can adjust it onto the right lug. And so that lug is a good one. And now what I'm going to do is put the hole facing upwards so that gravity doesn't make it fall while I'm tightening this up. So there I'm on that hole. Now what I'm going to do is tighten this bow up. In fact, before I do that, now that we're on the right lug, I can keep that, that's fine. I position that under the cable guard. And again I put that back, and I want to put the hole at the top, which I've done there. So now I've installed the bow press. I'm now tightening this up, and the purpose of doing this is we're trying to weaken the string so that we can put the peep sight in it. This is the same method we would use if we were replacing the string, or if we were actually changing the draw length of this bow. We would still do all this the same. You can see there our string's pretty loose, so I think we've got enough pressure off the string. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install our little peep sight. So the way we do that is we get a credit card or some flat and not very sharp piece of plastic, and we cut our way through. We want to be central through the strands. In fact, I've done it. I want to line it up about there. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So what I'm going to do here is try and get exactly through half the strands. And we don't want to cut the string, obviously, so we're using something that's got a very, very blunt edge, but at the same time the edge can still get through these strands. So that's probably about half, so that looks pretty good. And now what we do is we install our, well actually I can, now that I've got it open, pretty much I can manoeuvre what I need over. Now what I'm doing is installing my peep sight into the position that I want it to be in. That looks pretty good. And what I'm doing is I'm lining it up as much as I can with about this curve here. The other way you can do it is pull the string back into the position that you normally fire from, and have a look where your eye lines up with the string. I'm using a straight line here, so I've got a straight line. It's probably a bit low, I'll do it a bit higher. About there, that's about right. So that's about the correct position. The next thing I do is I use serving. Serving is some string that we use to actually bind the shooting string together, and what I'm using here is dental floss. Dental floss is a good poor man's serving, and I'm going to do a clove hitch to start it. Wow, so small, the dental floss. I didn't know it was so hard to do a clove hitch with it. So now I'm going to do a clove hitch with the dental floss just to start my serving. And I'll start it right up there, and I'll make it tight. I'm just going to wrap that around a few times, maybe 10 times or so. And what that's doing is there will be a gap there because we need to tighten the other side. Now that we are almost finished doing our serving here, I'm going to try and finish that. All you need to do is, you probably know more than me about knots, so you just need to do some kind of knot to finish it off. Which I'm doing there. And now I'm going to cut that. And obviously if I had a pair of scissors on me, I would do a much more accurate job of cutting. Okay, so I'm going to cut that more accurate a bit later. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the serving up the other end as well. So we want to be careful because we don't want to, when we are tightening up the serving on that side, we don't want to push the peep sight further away, up, out of position. So over here, just where I've got some room, I'm going to start my clove hitch and then I'm going to slide it all the way back up again. There we go, there's my clove hitch, and I'm going to slide that up there as much as possible. Doesn't want to stay there until I do more of the serving. So I've done that now. Now what I can do is wrap this, and I can actually, I want to wrap this right up tight to it. And that loop there, oh, that's just the excess. So now I'm doing the poor man's serving. Again, you can also actually buy serving. I saw on eBay from other archery places. I don't have any in stock at this point in time, but it is something you can buy. And there, we just bunch that together, and we want to sort of make that as tight as possible. And now I'm just going to tie that off. The way I'm going to tie that off is just sort of tie it back onto itself. Lockie, can you grab me some scissors, mate? Yeah. Okay, so we've tightened that off. And I'll just have some scissors coming. Like so. There might be in the office, mate. Or in the top of that bench. Now what we do with this piece is we tie it onto this cable here. So this is our leftover piece, and we can tie that. And we want to usually tie this fairly close, so there's a fair bit of slack. And also we want to tie it so that most of this is still available. We're not using up all of it in our knot. I don't know how successful I've been there with that, because there is a fair bit of excess just there. Then I'm going to tie that again, just with a confirmation knot. And now what I'm going to do with these scissors is cut the excess. And now what I do is I weaken off, I'm going to weaken off our bow press. Like so. So our bow press is now totally disengaged. As I'm weakening it off, I'm making sure that the cables are still lined up. Everything's still in its right place. It's really good to have a bow press of your own, so you can do all sorts of things, not only install peep sights, but so you can also do things like replace the string, change the draw length. It's just a really good thing to have in your kit bag. So now I've installed our peep sight, and our peep sight will line up with our dot points and our aiming device. And I'll show you what that, this is a left-handed bow, I'm a right-handed person, so it's not going to be perfect for me, but you'll get the idea. And now when I pull this back, I can look through my peep sight and I can line it up with the red dot, and I can fire my bow a bit more accurately than if I was just looking at the red dot on its own. I hope that helps. That's how you install the peep sight on the Atunga compound bow. Thank you.